Hello, humans and freaks. So today, as you can see, I got my MAGA hat on, and I got my beloved Jesus sign. This is my handmade Jesus sign that I do evangelism with, and that's what I want to talk about. So, street evangelism. Now, well, first of all, the MAGA hat. Okay, so the only way we're gonna make America great again is not Donald Trump. Now, I support Donald Trump, but the reason why I wear this hat when I do evangelism is because Jesus is the only way we're gonna make America great again, is if people turn back to Jesus Christ or turn to him to the very first time. You see what I'm saying? So the hat goes with the sign because this is the only way to truly make America great again, right here, Jesus Christ. It can't get any more triggering than this, right? Triggering in a good way. The hat and the sign, it's a double trigger. And woo, I'm telling you. So, I just got done doing some street evangelism, and this is how I do it. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it this way. You evangelize however the Lord leads you to evangelize, okay? Now, what he put on my heart many years ago is I made this sign. This is the front. This is the back. It says the same thing on the front and the back, but it has two different scriptures. So on this side, it's a scripture in the book of Acts. There's no other name under heaven by which men must be saved than the name Jesus Christ. On this side is John 3:16 to verse 21. So, here's the thing. If you are not a Christian, I totally understand, and I actually expect you to hate, absolutely hate this sign right here. I expect you to hate it. Now, if you don't hate it, that's good. Maybe you are open to the gospel. But here's another thing. What I find a lot of times is I would rather have somebody, so in the 2 or 3 hours, so for example, I just got done standing at a busy intersection. What I do is I hold this sign at a busy four-way intersection, okay? So I find a busy four-way intersection with 4 stoplights, you know what I'm saying? Traffic going each way. And I stand there on the side of the street with this sign. Everybody that goes through that intersection, they see it because it's a big neon sign. And the way I look at it is this. I mean, I literally have, in 2 or 3 hour period, I mean, that's hundreds, I mean, it's thousands of faces get to see the sign. And man, I get every reaction you can think of, from the extreme good to the extreme bad and everything in between. So I get people cussing me out, you know, and I'm laughing because to me, it's all amusing. I don't get offended. I'm not offended. I totally understand and expect the absolute worst from people with this sign. Because let's be honest. We live in a satanic world. The satanic world hates Jesus Christ. So yeah, I get people that cuss me out, but I also get people that come up and, you know, do a high five, or they'll do a fist pump, or they'll do a thumbs up, you know. And then I get people in between where, I mean, guys, if you come out with me and evangelize this way, bro, it is never boring. Never boring. And this is really what I want to say. I mean, I really want to talk to you professing Christians out there, okay? Because I get a lot of professing Christians, and I have to use the word professing because I'm not sure if you're actually for real or not. Guys, this is the most basic Christian message you could possibly tell somebody. This is basics, guys. Basics 101. When you look at what the New Testament church did in the book of Acts, the very first Christians to ever walk this planet, what did they do? They went out into the world, into the God-hating world, the satanic world. They went into the marketplaces. They went where all the people were at, right? And what did they do? They witnessed with the gospel message. They took it to the streets. This is old school, baby. Old school. Old school is the best school. Guys, so correct me if I'm wrong. It's one thing to see the gospel message on your cell phone, right? You're scrolling through social media or whatever, and you see someone holding a sign, whatever. Yeah, of course, God can and God does use social media, okay? I'm not denying that at all. But it's way different when you see this on your phone or your TV or your computer than when you see this in real life. So when you pull up to a stoplight and I'm standing there right in your face with this sign, trust me, it's a whole different energy and ball game. Trust me. Because, guys, think about it. Just drive around in your city. You're not gonna see this. You're just not. Not many people evangelize the old school way. Not many people do it. But this is way more powerful. I would argue this is way more powerful because it's face-to-face real life in your face, guys. Okay? So what I want to say is this. If you are a Christian and you never ever tell anybody about Jesus Christ, like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Now, I'm not saying you have to be religious about it in a bad religious way where you're like, oh, today I didn't tell anyone about Jesus Christ, I must be a bad... No. I'm not telling you to keep score. But what I am saying is this. If you are a Christian and you never evangelize, okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong, because we are all called to the Great Commission. I'm not saying you all have to do what I do. Trust me, I'm no better than any other human being on this planet. By any means. Okay? But here's the deal. When somebody says they have been saved by Jesus Christ, what do they mean? Saved from what? Saved from who? I'll tell you. You are saved from God Himself. God saves you by Himself. God saves you from Himself. And God saves you for Himself. Let me say that again. God saves you by Himself. And here's the big one. God saves you from Himself. And then thirdly, God saves you for Himself. So when I say that Jesus Christ saved me in the summer of 2004, what was I saved from? The wrath of God in hell. Guys, that's where I was going. At 21 years old from a drug overdose when I had a near-death experience, that's exactly where I was going, hell. So God saved me literally from hell. I deserved every bit of it, guys. Every bit of it I deserved. So, it's only, see, this is normal. What I'm doing, guys, this should be the norm. This shouldn't be some like, oh, super Christian, oh, he's special. No, I'm nothing special. Nothing special at all. This should be normal. But you know what? It's not normal. In America, it's not normal. I would argue, well, I don't even need to argue. Look up the statistics, guys. Most Christians in America, they don't evangelize regularly. They don't. They just don't. So you're telling me that God saved you from hell. He literally saved you from hell. Which is this is the greatest possible loving message I could ever tell another human being. There's no greater love. This is not hate. This is the most extreme form of love I could ever tell you guys. Right here. This is it. It's like this. If you saw somebody standing on some train tracks, right? You saw somebody standing on some train tracks. And you saw that the train was coming and this person on the train tracks was deaf. Let's say they were deaf and you knew they were deaf. And on top of that, they were blind. They were deaf and they were blind. And you knew they were deaf and blind. And they're standing in the middle of the train tracks. A train is coming, about to mow them over and kill them. And you stand there and do what? You do nothing. You do absolutely nothing. Do you know how hateful that is? Everybody would call you an evil person. You know why? You could have saved that person's life and tackled them off the train tracks. But you didn't. Why? Why? Why didn't you tackle them off the train tracks and save their life? Why didn't you do it? I mean, what? Were you scared of something? Oh, you didn't want to offend them? You didn't want to offend them by tackling them? Well, I think they would have got the message if you saved their life. But you see what I'm saying? So spiritually, humanity is standing on some train tracks. The train is coming. The train is who? It's God himself. Judgment Day is coming, guys, and you're standing on the train tracks. That train is coming. It's going to mow you down, and it's going to send you straight to hell. That's what's going to happen. Unless you repent and put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. So see, when I do this, it's not with hatred in my heart. It's with the utmost love. It takes the greatest amount of love. And again, I'm not boasting or puffing myself up. This is the least I can do for the God who saved my life. And he saved my soul from hell. He saved my physical life from a drug overdose. And he saved my soul from hell. So, you mean to tell me that God did that for me? God did that for you if you are a Christian. But you never want to say anything to anyone ever about that? No, man, that is hatred. That is hatred. You know someone is on their way to hell. You know it. You know they are. Without Jesus Christ, everybody's on their way to hell. Everybody. Without Jesus Christ, you are on your way to hell. Period. Point blank, end of story. So the most loving thing somebody could do would be to tell you, hey, you need to get right with Jesus Christ. God is real. Hell is real. Heaven is real. It's all real. I can prove the Bible to you a million different ways. But guess what? That's just intellectual. If you intellectually acknowledge that the Bible is true, congratulations. You are at the same level as the demons. Because the demons know the Bible is true. The demons know Jesus is true. But the demons still fight against Jesus Christ. You see? So just because you intellectually can check off that box and say, oh yeah, I know the Bible is true, that doesn't matter. Have you surrendered your heart, your life to Jesus Christ? Yeah, of course. My social media talks about health and fitness and bodybuilding, and I love all that. That's great. That's all good. But for those who know me, what I'm really about is this. This is who I really am. If you ask me and could get into the core of my heart, this, Jesus Christ. This is why I exist. Yeah, I can get you in the best shape of your life as well, of course. But that's just physical. Spiritual health and fitness is way more important than physical health and fitness, you guys. So anyway, I challenge you, if you are a Christian, go get outside of the church building. See, what I wish would happen is this. If churches cancel your Sunday morning service. Cancel it. And instead of all you meeting in that building, all of you go out into the streets, literally, and spread the gospel. And you will see what happens. If you want to see if this is real, get out into the streets, confront the darkness face to face, and you will see, you will prove to yourself that the supernatural and the demonic is real. Because I'm telling you right now, you will trigger so many demonic responses in people. I could talk for hours. I'm not going to, but I could talk for hours about the experiences I have on the streets with this sign. It is so supernatural. It would blow your mind what happens. It will blow your mind what happens. Okay, so if you want to prove that this is all real, do this. Do something like this, and you will prove it to yourself. It's called microwaving your faith or nuking your faith. I mean, see, a lot of times we read the Bible and it's just stories. But when you get out there and confront the satanic world, you create your own stories and you're like, wow, this is literally like something I would read in the Bible. Okay? So, to all you professing Christians out there, number one, if this sign offends you, I highly, highly, highly doubt you have been born again and are a real Christian. Because this sign should never offend a Christian. This is Basics 101. This is elementary school. This is first grade, kindergarten level Christianity right here. Only Jesus Christ saves from hell. Come on, man. This is so simple. If you're not a Christian and this sign makes you angry and mad, and yeah, I get it. It's supposed to. You know why? Because you're on the wrong team. There's only Team Jesus and Team Satan. There's no in between. Jesus says you're either with me or against me. There's no gray area, guys. Okay? So, to wrap this up, the whole point is, I was just talking to a brother in the Lord the other day. We spoke for like 4 hours on the phone. And it's like, man, it's so sad because a lot of Christians, even real deal Christians in America, you need to experience for yourself the supernatural. See, we have a supernatural faith. This is not just some, oh, that's a cool story I read in the Bible, but I can't even relate to that because this kind of stuff never happens. I never see it. Yeah, you know why? Because you're not confronting the darkness. We are light. They are dark. So when light invades the darkness, there's going to be a lot of spiritual tension, a lot of friction. And you feel it, man. It's palpable. You could cut it with a knife, I'm telling you. Do something like this out in the streets, especially in a liberal, democratic town where there's a lot of far leftists. Oh man, every little demon from every corner will come crawling out. You watch, and then it'll prove to you 1,000,000 times over that the Bible is true. Okay? So, what do I want to leave you with? Basically a challenge. If you are a Christian, get out of the building and get into the streets and confront the satanic world, and it will increase your faith, because then you will have stories and testimonies in your own life that match up with the Bible, and you'll just be like, yep, yep, I can relate, all right? So, to the non-Christians, this is the most loving thing I could ever tell you, right here. if you're not a Christian. Jesus Christ loves you beyond your wildest imagination, but he is a righteous judge, and one day there is going to be a judgment. You're going to be judged by Jesus Christ, and Jesus cannot dwell. He cannot dwell with evil. You cannot enter heaven unless you are covered by Jesus Christ. What does that mean? That means when you face God on Judgment Day, he's not going to judge you for all of the evil that you've done. He's going to judge you by seeing Jesus Christ in you and on you. And that's why he can pardon you and let you go free. Okay? It's like you're in a courtroom, right? Let's just end it on this. This is the old courtroom analogy. You're in God's courtroom. You got an infinite amount of sins, basically. It might as well be infinity, right? So God's reading the whole list. Man, you're doomed. There's no hope. You're sentenced to an eternity. In conscious torment in hell for all of eternity. That's your sentence. That's what you deserve. That's what I deserved. But here comes God's Son, Jesus Christ, and he says, hey, God the Father, the judge, I'm going to pay your fine. I'm going to pay the price that Brandon Thomas, me, deserves. The price that I deserve is eternity in hell. But Jesus Christ comes in the courtroom and he says, hey, God the Father, the judge, I'm going to take all of the wrath that Brandon Thomas deserves. Jesus is like, I'm going to take it for him in his place. Give it to me so Brandon can go free. That's what Jesus Christ did for you on the cross. He paid your fine. You get it? He paid your fine. So now the judge, God the Father, can declare you free to go, right? Free to enter into heaven. But if you're not a Christian and you reject Jesus' offer, then dude, what are you doing? That's your only way to be free. But you're rejecting the offer of Jesus Christ. So that, yeah, then all that's left is hell for you. That's it. So don't reject the offer, guys. All right? God bless. I will see you next time. Make America great again.